were there. There's a lot of questions as to why, Dust 2 would come out into play here and play into their strengths, and maybe one thing that they find themselves for here. Sean, why is it that this caters to them so well?
They just had a lot of cool looks across the map. So they threw a wall of smoke at long A and did cat hits. They had a nice mid B. They had a lot of just opening aggressions, too, on CT side, especially towards the B tunnel. So they honestly switched up a lot on both halves.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You saw a well-driven G2 for the first time. I feel like they had a map where they had a foundation to fall back on.
Which is quite contrasting to what we talked about in our last post-match. Exactly. But we do have some kind of cool toys they're going to let us play with here. Let's see what we got for them, Jacob.
Yeah, we got Sponge to make us a little clip here on Telestrator. I just quickly want to highlight some of the Fnatic, or some of the stuff that Fnatic did well, but also did poorly. So we have around here where they take long control. They have full long control, as you can see on your map right now. They have no idea what's going on towards B, but that doesn't really matter in this case. Now, if we play out the clip, we can see two smokes gone down here. So we have the crush smokes, which means that Fnatic can move up towards long and try to take A control. For some reason, though, the bomb is being dropped right here, and Brolan is staying here because he want to throw a smoke towards cat area, which in itself is a good idea, but it takes so long for Fnatic to get up. So if we just look at the screen right now, you can see the first smoke is starting to fade away, and as you can also follow on the minimap right here, the bomb is coming up long, and what happens when Brolan tries to crush is that the bomb is going to be left in middle. At this point, Fnatic had a very good chance of winning this round, but as soon as the bomb went down, with all the smokes used already, it's just going to be a brawl. It's going to be a lot of one-on-one fights, and that's where Fnatic seemed a little bit disjointed.
It looked like that smoke was actually meant to be the CT spawn smoke, so as those cross smokes faded, there'd be a deeper CT spawn smoke down, but he missed the smoke. So
that
is only himself to blame.
Yeah, I mean, we were seeing missed smokes even over there on Mirage. So, I mean, I suppose why not have it on Dust 2 as well? Hell, why not even have it on the Overpass at this point? Because that's where we're going. That's where the decider is here between who's going home and who's going to live to fight another day. G2 and Fnatic trying to stay alive in the Intel Extreme Masters and Overpass being that map. There's some rough, I guess, storylines or narratives that we could follow along here. Not either of these teams having tremendous showings on Overpass in this tournament thus far. And I mean, for what it's worth, we're looking at a CT side from G2 that was very, very much a strugglesome one. In fact, only 4 rounds.
Yeah, G2 on Overpass throughout this event has been horrible. Their match against ENCE, where they kept stacking the B site with 4 players, and they just kept getting burned time and time again. That was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I've never seen a worse performance, actually, on a CT half of Overpass. So they'll probably come with a different approach here, and I don't even know what to expect because it has to be different.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing they got going for them. Right now, Fnatic doesn't really know where G2 is going to be at, because what John just said, they need to change something, because what we saw against ENCE, that was absolutely horrible, to be completely honest. That said, though, Fnatic is not a strong Overpass team either, so this one could go both ways, and it could be a brawl, it could be a very messy match that is going to be between the individuals once again to be determined.
And just to clarify, you can take a look at some of the numbers on your screen right now in terms of how this one might start to pan out, 50-50, and you can see why this one was left in the veto process, but for G2, it's been a rough one. They've played ENCE and Avangard on this map, and after 11 rounds from Avangard on Overpass, Buster having come very much online. Then at least on ENCE, this is the sort of terrible showing that you guys are talking about, where it was really only 2 rounds there in their pocket.
Yeah, but with all of that being said, all that needs to happen for G2 is Kenny to just dominate the bathrooms, right?
Yeah.
They have so many key players on their team. Shox is having an outstanding series so far. I came into this series thinking there's no way G2 can win. And I would almost, put this on 50-50 as a third map.
Yeah, and as a third map for Fnatic, I mean, we've kind of talked about G2 a little bit into where they land on this one, but Fnatic themselves, do they fare a little bit better here? Has it been a rougher road for them?
I mean, you have Crims, right? And he's currently the best player on the server, without a doubt. So he needs to step it up once again. We didn't get to see him that much in Dust 2, and that's just, again, Fnatic didn't seem to have the right rhythm going for them on Dust 2. So, again, you have Kenny S, you have Shox on the side of G2, and you have Crims, and you have a guy like Brolan for Fnatic. So once again, I feel we're putting ourselves in a situation where all it comes down to is the individual performance from these teams, because neither of them are playing some of the best fundamental, the best team Counter-Strike right now.
Right, and at least for Fnatic, they did, obviously lose to Vici. They have caught a few L's up to this moment. In fact, when they played them on Overpass, it was a slow T side that proved to be that thorn, and it really doesn't give them that room to run with, or at least get started. Even cranking the engine was just never on the cards that day.
Yeah, against Vici, they really couldn't get anything going on their T side, and this should prove to be something they're more familiar with when they play G2, so hopefully they can kind of move around the map at a better pace. But ultimately, I think the question lies in whether Brolan can show up. He's so young. He's 16 years old, and this match is probably going to be the most pressure he's had on him in his entire career.
And you could say the same for Lucky and Jax, right? You have
Right.
two guys coming in from the French scene, two guys who have never played a major before, as far as I'm concerned, and two guys that was praised a lot for their individual skill. You know, thinking of them coming into G2, you thought to yourself, all right, you have guys like Shox, you have Kenny S, two very veteran players that have a high immense skill, but those two guys, they need to step it up when it matters the most now.
Yeah, and that's one way to look at it. I mean, we've got roughly 30 seconds here. Sean, I kind of want to put you in the hot seat here. I want to ask you, you know, as what would have been obviously an in-game leader and now being able to look at a big picture hindsight, what do you say to these young guns on either side?
Ooh, that's a good question, Trace. I think, honestly, I would go with the breathing exercises pregame. I'm a big fan of it. Slow down that heart rate. Get them into the game. Remember, just go over the game plan, right? Pistol round, first gun, second gun. That's it.
It requires you have a game plan.
Cool. And you guys have who again?
Fnatic.
Okay, well, we've got a house divided, and that house divided has to come down at some point. And it comes down to this pistol round right here on Overpass. We're going to have Moses and Vince bringing it to you. Fnatic and G2 Esports squaring off.
Thank you, boys. We've done our breathing exercises. We're ready to go for this third and final map of the series. Pimp going with G2. Craziness. Here we go. Fast-paced. Crim's trying to get into the action. Slow start on Dust 2. It's going to be not a slow start for Fnatic so far. Entry kill, but Kenny S responds. But then all the rest of the frags fall in the way of Fnatic, and Jax is caught in the open.
Flurry of frags will have Shox in a 1-on-3. Trying to make a move around the back. Beautiful one-tap on Twist to kick things off with a bang. May not have a kit under his control just yet, but there's plenty of time. He was so rapid on his ascent back to the site. It seemed like the damage was irreparable to be for G2, and Shox has found a second one. Looking for that kit, and he's picked it up. Now JW is all that stands between Shox and a beautiful clutch, but he's just about playing the time perfectly. Just darting back in and forth and keeping Shox caught in two minds, and there is JW. His Glock will sing for him, and Fnatic claim first blood.
That was so close. I, honest to God, felt like Shox was going to build up into that and steal that round away in a 1 versus 3. Now is the time for G2's stars. And the two you'd point to, obviously, Shox and Kenny S. They both had good pistol rounds. 2 kills for Kenny, 2 kills for Shox, and unfortunately not able to complete the clutch. But as the Desk mentioned, we've seen this overpass from G2. We know it's not by any means their best performing, or we don't see them perform their best on this map. You're going to need the stars to show up on an individual basis. Also, ESL's brand new radar is live in this map. They've added in some grenade effects. Obviously, there's a border around the player that we're spectating on the map. Looks beautiful.
Does, nice and clean, crisp and clean. See the Molotov there, little orange circle. Another one down in connector now. Damn, I'm just gonna get sidetracked by that radar. I can already feel like I'm gonna be looking at it all the time and miss all the action.
Yeah, no one's looking at the frags, just the new radar. Well, Deagle's P250 on body. 5 smokes as well, and just the first one used now. Fnatic's got to be careful. They obviously don't know this, but if they don't apply some pressure pretty quickly, they're going to be hitting a bomb site with smokes in their face.
Smoke's being deployed as the attack commences. Fnatic barreling down on the Frenchman. And here comes Jax, Deagle in hand, nearly stacks up with a triple, but instead it's going to be Crimson Brolan answering back. They're both heavily tagged, both bleeding. Hemorrhaging at this stage, need to apply some pressure to the wound. With only 30 seconds left. And G2 in pretty good shape. Even better now that Shox is struck onto Brolan. Crims, his position compromised, just going to go for the plant, and he will be able to get it. G2 not in a position to stop him. Now they're both going to be coming up on Dumpster, and Body will find the headshot. G2 bounce straight back with a round of their own.
That was so sick. That was a designed play to get Jax into that smoke. And this works from G2. They drop the smokes in front of the bomb site. Fnatic smokes on top of that. It's a great way to be able to find isolated fights for those Deagles. And obviously Jax just wanders into a smoke for a pop flash play right through it. Didn't see that the other day on Overpass.
Definitely didn't. Otherwise, things could have been quite a bit different.
All right. I mean, that gets me excited. I was a little bit worried this could be a blowout, especially since we saw Avantgarde put, what, up 11 rounds, I think, on their T side against G2. Now things get interesting. How does Fnatic respond? I don't know if they're going to want to force up into this. They do buy Deagles, no armor, no utility alongside of the pistols. Can't complain about that start for G2. That's the first pistol round that they've lost in this series, but the damage gets negated by winning that ensuing second round.
Well, some players, when their backs are against the wall, that's where they're the most dangerous. And Twist will find Jax taking down his M4. It has been denied courtesy of Kenny S's AWP. Will back away to the A side. They feel like that early skirmish has been won. Only a flashbang for Fnatic, so getting onto either of these sites is going to be a real task. Plus no Kevlar.
I think that was even picked up off a dead body. And flashbang. Also, new detail on the radar, the X's marking where players have fallen. JW has been spotted by Shox, who's going to get aggressive. Doesn't want JW to have any time to find a frag or a fight that he enjoys. And Kenny's backed all the way to the bomb site.
Two Desert Eagles. The arsenal of weaponry for Fnatic with just over 30 seconds. Kenny spotted one of the two. Stands to reason they both be clumped together and try and be effective as a united force. Kenny S uncharacteristically misses 2 shots. Pretty straightforward from his perspective, but haven't really been punished in the process. 15 seconds, grenade absolutely evaporates Exist's health. Down to 32 now.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything if you're G2. Let him come to you. That's a good trade from Crims, but Kenny's there to stop it. So, not bad. 2 guns taken away. One of them M4s, 1 UMP.
Pretty important at the end as well that Fnatic did push. There was about 5-10 seconds left. If they died after time, of course,
yeah,
their money would have been ruined for this round.
Yeah, they had to go for it. But the AKs are back now. UMP on JW. Solid utility level for the Fnatic side of things. They have to deal with that AWP from Kenny S, because remember on Dust 2, the AWPs were solid. Saw a nice round from Lucky with the AWP. Kenny had some nice shots, and he's going to get things started here. And this map, talked about it a few times in the past when we see it. Sneakily, the AWPs can just be dominant on this. Look at that boost. A crouch, waiting for the pop flash. Holy hell. Domination from G2. They're going to get a third, and this happened so quick. 1 minute and 25 seconds left on the clock, and Exist is the only player alive for Fnatic, now fighting in flames, and even though they're bunched up, it's not even going to complete 1 kill.
So G2 have lost Overpass twice in their road to this position against Ensign of Anger. 16-6 and 16-10.
They're just sandbagging, Vince. They've got us all right where they want us.
Playing the old rope-a-dope.
Yep.
So a great start compared to what we've seen in prior overpasses. I guess losing twice, you learn a lot about what's been going wrong. Maybe address a few things, but nothing wrong with this start. Kenny S, it's been good to see him get aggressive with the AWP as well. He's got a couple of picks in mid. In terms of this round, you can see grenades landing all over the place, mainly on B. Twist took a bit of chip away from the grenade. Exist takes a shot courtesy of Kenny.
And Kenny's feeling safe as well. He's got Jax close up to keep some space. Jax now rotating out towards long, so Kenny's playing for himself, can fall back, pop flash to get information, and the bomb on the ground is a pretty solid piece of information. That's a nice shot to follow up. Even getting the 3rd kill. Exists trying to pre-fire the angle. Good round from Jax with this AK. Heat check on this fight. Crims being exceptionally difficult to hit.
His mission is just to do as much damage as possible at this stage. In terms of clutching the round, it's
actually, Kenny S shouldn't peek this. If he goes down, there was really no one close by for a moment to get the AWP, but he waits as Lucky starts running over. So swaps back over to the AWP. It's a 4-1 lead for G2. And it's Kenny S leading the way with 7.
125 ADR to Kenny. Jax has 123. Shox with 105.
It's not too shabby, is it? Not too shabby at all. Here we go. Deep Molotov for Kenny. Twist is going to beat it. So is Brolin. But JW gets split. No one from G2 is being too aggressive. They are wrapping around towards the long. It's a little bait and switch setup. Kenny S far back with the AWP. And Jack's close up with the AK. Opening kill for Crims through the wall.
Looking to procure a path onto the B side is Crims, but it's going to be a deadly endeavor. Bonnie's going to deal with him. Meanwhile, Fnatic push their way past balloons. Could be setting up for a boost.
G2's pushed their way through Monster. Yeah, that's going to find Kenny. They do great damage, but it's tough to complete that kill through it. We saw it just the other day. They still don't know Jax is pushed up, and they still have no idea that Body has pushed out of the B bomb site. So much information being gathered by Body. Bomb on Twist is going to start rotating back. That's a pretty nasty fight to take with the AUG, and the smoke is just brutal. That's going to slow so much down. Body using the Molotov as well. Now he just has to get away safely. But look at all this aggression across the map for G2. No matter where Fnatic goes, G2 knows exactly what's happening.
Yeah, that body stall has really allowed Jax to get in position, but now that his teammate has just been killed and time is pretty low, is it going to be enough? The bomb's been dropped. They've actually dropped a Molotov on this, and Jax could do even more damage. He's spraying across, does land it. Could have just won the round for G2. They're going to have to push straight onto the site. Here is Lucky. Had a fantastic Dust 2 performance, and XIII should be able to get the bomb planted, but he's going to get pushed down instantly afterwards, and Lucky will clutch. The stall into flank, far too strong.
Yeah, that's so sick. I mean, it's actually kind of impressive that Fnatic even had an opportunity to win that round after everything, but G2 coming out swinging here on Overpass. An impressive start, 5-1, and an early timeout for Fnatic as they're stumped. They do get the bomb, they do get the extra plant money, they had a 4-round losing bonus, and now it's Fnatic who's won the pistol, but just doesn't really have anything else to show for it.
Yeah, pistol into 5 rounds. Gonna leave a mark, and XIII is yet to get off the mark. Still killless, 006. 11 ADR. Crimson, meanwhile, is performing well. But again, we've discussed this in the past. If Crims is the only player that's really doing anything, Fnatic will struggle, as good as Crims is.
Well, they're going to need more than just him when you have 3 players deliver. Remember, you just mentioned 3 players on G2 over 100 ADR. You have Kenny S with that AWP. Jax is having a very good game. Shox is up there as well. So even Lucky's sitting right at 93 ADR. 4 players from G2 really clicking at the moment. So Fnatic is going to need to match that at the very least.
I mean, even Body has got 79 ADR, so everybody over 75, which is pretty phenomenal, all things considered. Wrong and Shox take the early chip. Body is going to have a clear shot onto XIII, and that's just a free kill given away. Nothing preceding that peak, no flashes, nothing at all. Seems a bit useless.
Well, those are fights that wouldn't... Oh, what a double up from Kenny. Gets aggressive, and he finds him lined up. That's a little bit of luck going his way, but fair play. Though I think part of the reason is Kenny's going to get a 3rd one. He's going to stay aggressive, and this is the problem with him starting to heat up, is if he gets this confident, he's going to be so difficult to handle. What I'm trying to say that that kind of a fight with the AUG through Monster, in that sense, you probably would rarely see that from CTs before the AUG has been a revelation to how you can play on this defensive side. With an M4, you don't just stand in the open like that. With an AUG scoped up, you feel much more comfortable. The only other time you'd see that probably is with an AWP. But G2, I mean, they're really piling it on at the moment. 6-1, 5-round lead over Fnatic. And remember, this is the deciding map. Fnatic absolutely demolished G2 on Mirage. G2 returns the favor on Dust 2. And now it looks like G2 wants to build upon that here on Overpass. And so far, they're getting started the right way.
We have Agent XIII, unfortunately, on the server. Meanwhile, Fnatic Gonna maybe try and push through the smoke on short if they're feeling aggressive with these pistols, catch the CTs off guard, deciding against it, gonna bide their time and wait. But it's gonna be a B hit. They have no control over connector as it stands. For all they know, Jax is rotating around the back of them once again, so they're gonna have to push the button and go aggressively, and Body's there with the Orc, 2 kills already. Not gonna get a third, but the information is gonna be gathered from the rest of the team. And now they can buckle down on this B site defense. Jax is just watching the side in case they go for a rotation. He can also play as the kind of sweeper role in connector. But yeah, the stragglers of Twist and Crims are living on borrowed time. And they know it. Lucky with a trade. G2 7-1 in the lead.
Nice double peek right at the end there from Shocks and Lucky to ensure they get those kills. Even with one player falling, they've got so much money built up. 3 players over 10,000 before the purchase. All 5 of them over 9,000 before the purchase. That's not bad.
What else isn't bad is since that first map that we played, G2 are currently leading on terms of rounds 23-9.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue if you're Swedish. Here we go, Kenny again. Saw him get aggressive earlier and find a pick towards that terrace stairwell. This time he just tosses a nade and falls back, but he's going to get the pick anyways. Brolin out in the open trying to grab an aggressive angle very quick, and he's stopped cold, but now Kenny's blind. That's one way to deal with him. Jack's still in bathrooms though, and they have to be cautious about how they clear this twist. Going to turn the corner. Oh, Jack's reconsidered behind him, and now they know he's blind. Crims steps up to the plate. Shocks finds safety in aggression. If he keeps going, he might be able to turn this into a flank. And once again, G2 loving this B aggression.
Good shot onto Body though, while airborne. Trying to peek over the boxes. Now Fnatic piercing the heart of overpass through connector. Lucky was thinking about checking on connector side. Thinks twice of it, and in doing so has actually allowed one of the players to cross, now both of them. Now, of course, Fnatic have no idea that Lucky is here. So if he plays his cards right, he'll have the bomb planter down.
They'll never expect Monster as a point of danger. Actually, excuse me. Hold that thought. Crims knows everything.
He is just too damn good to be bamboozled off a play like that. Meanwhile, Shocks try and get back onto the site. Insta headshot to Crims, who is already low.
He's going to win this, Vince.
Well, XIII has the positional advantage. And Shocks doesn't have any nades left now. So it's going to have to come down to the kill. Lands the headshot, and with the kit, he will get the defuse. I bow down to you. You are clairvoyant, Moses. You knew all along.
No, it's not even that. Shocks is on point right now. He is so fast. That kill he had on JW in bathrooms was so impressive when JW takes the peek, and then you saw the near clutch on the pistol round, and Shocks is obviously feeling this game at the moment, which is a worrying sign if you're a Fnatic fan, because not only is Shocks performing at a high level, but Kenny is delivering as well. Even with a spectacular shot like that, Fnatic had everything they could have wanted in that round. They took out Kenny with him not getting a single kill. Excuse me, I think he had one, but took him out pretty efficiently, all things considered. Jack's aggressive. This time, Shock's going to push down the stairwell. They have a nice little crossfire set up. I don't know if I don't know if Fnatic is going to expect this. Here comes Twist. Gives up his position, and Jax can get aggressive.
We need Twist to land some of those entries, but Kenny S and Jax, dynamic duo in mid, both going to claim kills. And it just seems so easy for G2 at the moment.
This is a different G2 than we've seen throughout this tournament. Something's clicking all of a sudden. We might all have to tweet at Ocelot and apologize at some point.
Fnatic not going to give up on round 10, making a move over on B at this stage. Molotov stops Crims from pushing, and a smoke in his eyes afterwards. Still plenty of time though. They could even rotate back up to A if they so choose through connector.
It's not the strategic decisions that are hurting Fnatic at the moment, it's the fact that they're just individually, G2 is not only matching them, but in the case of Shox, outplaying them. In the case of Kenny, outplaying them. XIII might have an easy kill onto Kenny, who's low HP. Body has just snuck in just as he moves his crusher. The timing's not with him, and now Crims, 1-on-4, won't even get the chance through the corner of the boxes. Kenny to finish him off. Fnatic need to get something going immediately. XIII still on 0 kills and 0 assists with 10 deaths.
That's the problem, isn't it? When your IGL, the guy you're trying to rally behind, is just having a stinker of a game. Does it affect his leadership? Does it affect his confidence?
I think XIII is too experienced to let that happen, but certainly needing more production as well from everyone. No one on Fnatic in double digits in kills. The highest is Crims with 8. Twist has 6, but it's a pretty steep drop-off from there.
Well, let's see what Fnatic have in store for us as we jump live into round 11. 9-1 the score. The deciding map. One of these two teams will be eliminated at the conclusion of Overpass, and right now it firmly looks as though Fnatic is going home.
Jax in a little bit of trouble, a little bit of craziness. He's somehow going to get knifed. Brolin comes through, gets that extra bank. But Kenny's the one you got to worry about now. He's still aggressive. He's had a couple very nice sequences. Obviously extremely confident. Now he's going to fall away. He's got a teammate here to help out. Shox has arrived.
Second knife kill of this best of 3, I believe. I think Brolin got one on Mirage as well. Onto Kenny, if I remember correctly.
It's a samurai.
Sure is.
Brolin has the AK-47, but he also has no health to play with, but Shox walks right into it. Not expecting that angle. And now out towards long we go. That's exactly what Kenny wants. Oh, he doesn't clear deep enough. He doesn't clear along the left wall. They're going to get so close. He's going to go down for free. I don't think he has a chance of responding in this situation. There it is. JW swings out wide, and Fnatic have pulled off a bit of a miracle. All the rounds they struggled with rifles. This one just pistols. They find their way in, and they find their second round. But boy, is that a wild bookend of Fnatic rounds. A 9-0 run for G2.
Kenny has won all 4 of his entry duels, averaging 91 kill, assist, survive, or trade. Not too bad.
It's the benefit of the AWP as well, right? And on a map like Overpass, where you can fight such a powerful retreating battle through the bathroom, so many tricky angles that you can get with relative safety with that AWP. And this is the best Kenny has looked in this whole series. Relatively quiet on the first 2 maps. Couple nice individual rounds, but here on Overpass, he's putting together a complete game.
So vitally important that Fnatic keep the winning ways now, though. They've got a chance, some foundations, but they've got to build upon them. Something sturdy that's going to last. You feel like they probably want 4 or 5 rounds off this half now. Can they do it, though? Also, winning on, by and large, pistols does bolster their economy. They'll be able to afford in the next round whatever happens here, especially if they're to get a bomb plant down. And it seems like they may be shifting up the gears a little bit. It was looking like they may go for more of a faster hit on B, but they're going to slow down as Crims eats a grenade.
I think they just don't want to mess. G2 has shown them multiple different looks on defense towards Fountain and Party and bathrooms. I think they just don't want to mess with it. They don't really know what they're going to see when they get there, and obviously Kenny playing well with the AWP. That's always dangerous to head in that direction. There's Body, gets into a battle, traded immediately afterwards.
Not a bad trade for Fnatic, all things considered. It's going to thin G2 out a little bit, but they've got to do something with this. They're all clumped together. Again, this is where Jackson is constant flanks, constant pushes behind. May get into the back of Fnatic's mind. They did this a lot on Dust 2 as well. Can they afford to sit around for much longer? Obviously, we can see that they can, but they're going to go ahead, blot out the sun with all these grenades. The engage is well and truly initiated. Lucky in the meanwhile, though, hasn't really been forced away with any grenades. He can tee off a couple of shots. He's not going to land as he was on Dust 2. So Fnatic have made inroads onto the site, gonna get the bomb planted, and now Shox, who's up close, may be able to deliver some shots. Now Jax has overplayed his hand. Crims read that from a mile off. Shox in the meanwhile, though, it's going to put JW down. Pretty passive positions assumed by Fnatic, but the bomb is planted on the right side of Pillar for short. Meanwhile, Shox is going to go in with 2, and G2, even in rounds that look like have gone too far, they drag it back somehow, some way.
When Shox is playing like this, post plants are so dangerous. He is so good in those scenarios. His aim is on point at the moment, and obviously the op's ringing out as well. But more importantly, the perfect teamwork and coordination, having a teammate flash for him so he could take that fight up the ramp, finds a blind first kill, and then able to hold Monster. And part of that, you're exactly right. Such passive positions from Fnatic on the post plant, way deep past Monster. There's no chance of trading any of those kills. And G2 takes that bomb site back very easily.
So Fnatic will be able to rebuy, as I mentioned earlier, but instantly broke back. G2 must be feeling so confident, just oozing through them, coursing through their veins at this stage. Jack's going to be joined by Kenny S on long. This classic stack, as you see so often on Overpass. Kenny having a look through the flower beds, but his teammate's gone down. Kenny will connect onto Brolan. Takes a bit of damage, but gonna go for the repeat. This is the kind of confidence that you want to see from Kenny, but it is gonna cost him. JW will not allow him to get any more kills out of this round.
This is a clever play by Shox, though, because Fnatic has found 2 frags towards long. I don't know if they'll expect a third person here in Xist. He's had a rough game. He's gonna find his first kill, and that's a big one to get. Fnatic need everything they possibly can down the stretch. A 4-on-2, they can't let this fall, and Crims isn't gonna let it. Lucky is the last man alive. Starting to run out of money is this defense, so this is actually a pretty important weapon for Lucky to keep in his hands. I don't think Fnatic will do too much chasing. Lucky at the moment has 11,000. If he keeps the AWP alive, he can drop it over to Kenny. He can rebuy one if they want to stick with the double AWP, or a couple M4s.
And impressively, Lucky has only died 2 times, and we're moving into...
That's crazy, actually.
Round 14 after this one. Pretty nuts.
That is craziness. Explains why he's got so much cash. He can actually drop 4 M4s.
Mr. Moneybacks.
He could buy for his whole team. He's rich. Well, Xist is on the board, 1-11, 17 ADR. Quite obviously not his best game. All can be forgiven, though, if they get up to 5 and they find themselves at least with something to play with in the second half, right? That's the important part at this point. No matter how far down you are, just give yourself some breathing room, a chance to make 1 or 2 mistakes on the next half, because they're going to happen. And you need to be able to have, just need enough rounds to be able to survive them and be able to respond.
Sure, plus in the previous 2 games, obviously G2 have played Overpass, as I said before, Ensign Vanguard. It was their T side that was really lackluster. So it's the easiest side coming up for Fnatic, a side that they know G2 are pretty weak on. But again, going back to our original point, G2 were not playing this well in those games. So who knows? Kenny S is going to miss his shot. In the meanwhile, of course, as I say that, the curse of the commentator.
No, I'm just laughing. I'm loving the way it was Crims and Twist who went down those stairs, and as soon as they hear the AWP ring out, they're like, hell no. They all back away so quickly. They want nothing to do with that fight. 4 players at long. It's Twist who's alert. He wants to hold them in the staircase. Shox is burning right into the arms of JW. Fnatic, as we've seen them do so many times across their tenure in Counter-Strike, finding a way to claw back into this game. Good shot from Crims.
All of this push off the intel of Kenny being in connector. But the bomb has not been planted, and they're starting to leak kills at this stage. Crims, though, is going to put body in his place. As they look to ascertain the bomb plant, Crims goes in for another one. 3 kills already in this round and won't be required for a 4th. But Fnatic do have 4 rounds. This is starting to get into the realms of possibility now.
What a force of nature this Fnatic team is at the moment. I can't believe they found a way to come back into this game. 4-10. It's not the greatest half, obviously, but it's much better than what it looked like was going to happen. G2 was shaming them this entire half. Krim's not letting them go down without a fight. 4-10. Now the money's a little bit hindered. Now the buy is a little bit hurt for G2. They still have the double up, though, so still extremely deadly.
AWP's currently situated. Kenny S, of course, on 8. And Lucky using his AWP over on the B side. So keeping it split up and diverse. Shox with an MP9, though, could be a bit of an issue. UMP for Jax. Not a huge amount of grenades, actually. No Molotovs currently in play. 4 smokes, though, should be enough. Depends really if Fnatic can bait some of these out, but Krims goes looking, and Lucky will take his life for free. The worst of starts of Fnatic going through into the last round of this half. And it's their key man as well, just to add salt in the wound.
Now they've encountered body pushed out of the B bomb site a couple times. Twist was considering the possibility. Did not clear the corner as well as you would like. Bonnie's going to get a second one. The damage is done. 35 seconds left at 2-on-4. G2 looking for a strong lead after this first half.
3 players over on B. Again, Jax just watching the flank on the off chance they're going to rotate, and there goes Kenny. Number 16 and 17 with his AWP.
Well, this is a G2 that we haven't seen before in this tournament. That was a phenomenal half from them. 11-4 lead over the reigning IEM Katowice champions. Fnatic in some trouble. We'll see if they can get out of it when we return.
In the clouds, and I'll take it, yeah. Reminding myself to just let go. Don't